Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We are two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and mostly trashy world of reality TV, but fantastic and interesting world of reality TV. No, interesting world of docuseries.
But through
Uh,
our own confused lens, at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sensical and sweet. At the end of the day, hello.
Sensical, is that a word?
You know what? Oh, absolutely, it is sensical. We
Oh,
all know what sensical means.
no, nonsensical. I know what that means, but just
So, what
regular
is wait? If there's
sensical?
nonsensical, then there has to be sensical.
Not necessarily. Let's see.
Oh, yes, necessarily.
Sensical definition.
I
Sensical. You're right. I'm wrong.
great. Remember this moment
When
and
did
for the rest of your
sensical
life.
become a
Okay.
word? The earliest use of the adjective sensical was in the late 1700s. For those of you who are wondering.
They all were wondering what's happening, and I'll tell you, we are talking about Life After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 20, Shimmer Down. Which this is going to be interesting because when I heard this, I immediately thought of the Sherry O'Terry SNL sketch where she's just like a weird clerk and telling people to simmer down now. But
Shimmer
Wahala, you
down.
didn't have that. Yeah.
No.
What was your idea of this?
I didn't even think about it. I didn't know that the title was called Simmer or Shimmer Down. Shimmer, it makes me think of you want all my love and my devotion. It makes me think of the disco version of that. You know,
Oh,
when it's first the Jennifer Hudson version and then it turns into the Beyonce version. Ooh, just reminds me of the 70s Shimmer.
yeah. Yeah. Or like
Shimmer
a,
down. Yeah.
do you like shimmer eyeshadow or are you like not into shimmery eyeshadow?
I'm not into shimmery eyeshadow, but I am into shimmery. You remember like when you in the 80s when you went into your like aunt's home and she had the shimmery um drapes that went over a door frame and you walk through it and it like made sounds. Do you remember that like beating that was over door frames like indoors? No, you didn't
Yeah,
have
there
that.
I think of like yes, I think of like hippie stoners or
Hmm.
hippie like
Hmm.
sick, yeah, hippie or like
Hmm.
shops. But yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I told my aunt that. I was like, "Hey, Aunt Josetta, remember when you had that door that had like the beating?" And she was like, "You remember that?" And I was like, "Yeah, girl." It was like dramatic.
Everything.
Yeah, it was everything. Like I walked through, you had beating coming down from a door frame. And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah."
I don't want to talk about Britney all the time. Believe me, it's a curse that I have. Whatever. It's her like second album cover. I think it's just like her. Like it's like like there's the beading. She's like in the door frame. She's just like holding the beads. It's like
Yes.
I know,
Yes. I
I
mean,
know.
like part of me is like, should I get
Yes,
a beating door
yes.
Thank you. Amazon.
But I
Great.
want it to be good color. So this is what it is. So it has, you know what so the thing about Britney's, which worked, if you could get it, I would love it. Hers were like amber, so the beads itself
Ooh.
look like amber, like the kind of stuff that like a dinosaur fossil would be fossilized in, and like years later,
Mhm.
Jurassic Park would happen.
Mhm.
Like so. Anyway, now
Mhm.
we're gonna talk about this dumb show.
Mhm.
So, it's actually a fine episode. There was a lot of drama, and I mean, let's just start with Chevelle and Quaylon first because this was the most drama. I mean, this
The
was like
most
mama,
drama,
mama,
drama,
drama, mama. Um,
drama.
so basically, we're already on the the tail end of what's been already a horrible a horrible like wedding shower or bridal shower. The fuck this is bridal shower, and they've already been fighting because what keeps happening is that they keep being within 6 feet of each other, talking shit about each other as if they're not 6 feet from each other, talking loudly shit about each other. I mean,
Mhm.
that's where it's like a little bit like, I can't, okay? Because like that's not what really is happening. Like, if you really were like talking shit about someone, you would just like take yourself out of the room. But literally, we see the cameras and they will just have a conversation about what I like. I cannot believe that your mom is doing this. And you see the mom right there being like, God damn it, Jenna, why did you always do, so you're just like, and so you just it builds and builds and builds, but you really do see, I mean, whether it's real or not, a horrible quality of narcissism and fucked up gaslighting that Chevelle's mom is perpetrating, to a point where if her reality is that Chevelle is too good because Quaylon's been in jail, or Quaylon's mom, or whatever, she's making Quaylon's mom of calling her street people, like, it's not, it's she's making it look like she kind of is. Like, she's not handling this gracefully or elegantly. She's not, like, on her daughter's side. She's making it all about herself. She's making herself the victim while everyone else is enjoying themselves, and she can't see it. It's narcissistic tendencies. It's just like, my favorite part of this, we can talk about anything, is that Chevelle sits down and in a very shady way. I mean, and I think this, but her mom doesn't read it. It's like, I've been with you through your marriages, implicating
Mm,
that there's been a couple and it was
mhm,
not good looking at the time and there were questionable moments, but Chevelle, like, held her mom's hand, was like, I'm
mhm.
supporting you. And in this moment, obviously, Chevelle's mom is like not doing the same. And that, of
Yeah.
course, is when Chevelle gives, I mean, early on in the episode, the title of the episode, I mean, we know immediately that it's, you need to what? Shimmer.
Simmer,
Shimmer.
shimmer,
Shimmer down.
Didowna. Yeah,
Shimmer down, honey,
shimmer
like
down.
Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath eyeshadows, just like the
Yeah.
loosiest loose, just like
Mhm,
shimmer down all of the, like,
mhm,
opal and
mhm,
gold and bronze,
mhm.
just like, I love it. I mean,
Yeah,
I die for like a Huda Beauty palette. Like,
yeah.
I want to be shimmer head to toe when I am in
Mhm.
the coffin, you know?
Yeah. You want all my love and my devotion.
On my
You
face.
want my love and
Gross.
soul right on the line. Yeah. But you're not giving it
Mm.
back to me. You're not giving it back to me. And so her
Mhm.
mother's like, what?" Because the mother really is lording over the fact that her child, none of her children, who knows if Chevelle's her only child, has not gone to prison. And Quaylon and his mother and the street people have gone to prison. So you have no leg to stand on. And Chevelle is like, listen, they may have had prison and street people situations, but you have had many a husband. So I'm asking you to simmer de downa or shimmer de downa, as
Mhm.
Chevelle would say it.
Mhm.
And then the mother is like upset, and the mother has some various nieces or family and cousins. And then Quaylandria, who is Quaylon's sister, which then, street people, Quaylon and Quaylandria, it's so, uh, Quaylon and Quaylandria. I forgot that that was what she named her children. So I was like, what's the father's name? What's the father's name? She named her children Quaylon and Quaylandria, and why? What was that
Quail.
choice?
Quail.
His name is Quail. She named her children Quaylon and Quaylandria, and the question is why?
Yes.
Okay. But anyways, and so Chevelle is just upset at this point, and she doesn't understand why her mom is just being so negative. And then we have Quaylon comes in, and Quaylon is like, "What's going on?" And the mom says, "No, I'm not going to fake it, and I'm not going to continue to deal with this situation. I'm going to be me." So shimmering the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like not going to deal with this. And so Quaylon's mother is like, "I feel horrible that this is happening." And then there's a fight about, like, "Don't you tell my daughter to not deal with my hateful comments. My
Smart.
daughter will deal with my hateful comments, and I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna fight you." Cause and then Quaylandria can't handle it. Quaylandria is like, "Listen, I'm tired of you antagonizing my mother. Okay? My mother is doing her best with her top side pony."
Yeah, and then but her mom is like, "You're young, you have to respect your elders."
No, that's not true. No, no, no. The elders will get their ass beat if
Yeah,
the
she's like,
elders
"No, you
continue.
can't talk to me." And then so Qualandria is like, "Well, my no," then I'm like, "You can't talk to me. Your mom should be talking to me if that's the way she feels." It's like, and of course they're in the same room. So they're screaming
Mhm.
over each other's heads. So it's like,
Yes. Yeah. And Chevelle takes her and the daughter, Maila, to go outside because she doesn't
Oh,
wanna be a
yeah.
part of all of this, and I'm
Oh,
like, Maila needs to see how her Mima behaves
I
to
hate
know
this
how
for
not
her.
to behave,
I hated this
and
part.
I
People go
know, you'd hate
crazy.
it.
Because people are taking off their shoes. There's like a goddamn that suddenly people start like there's like pink sweaters being taken off. At one point, we're seeing these white clogs just being ripped off of a heel, like, and the heel is like in like a blue chiffon. Like, we don't know exactly who that is. And yeah, like they're also like, yeah, like we don't want our daughter to see this. And half of me is like, well, is this real or is this not? You know, that's why I'm like, is
No,
this real?
I think it's real. I think it's real.
Okay.
Um, it's an unfortunate situation, but I really just wanted to see Chevelle's mother's wig snatched. I wanted to see the wig snatch. I wanted to see Chevelle's mother just like gold eyeshadow just smeared.
It's just an interesting gold. It's kind of sometimes looks white, yellow, almost like beige, and because it's very chalky. Like it's not
Mhm.
the it looks almost like a
It's
canary white
drugstore.
yellow.
It's drugstore.
It is
It's drugstore.
frosted, so it's not but it's not
Mhm.
shimmery.
Mhm. It's the same one she's had for at least 10 years. She hasn't hit pan yet, or she has hit pan, but the corners are still alive and well, and she's using the corners. In fact, it's a sponge it's a sponge
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, I know, yeah, I know that stick well. Yeah, 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 that
Yeah,
was
it's a
n
sponge
no
stick.
good
It's
for
not a
no
brush.
one. I mean, what a
It's
a
not a
billion of
brush.
those are sitting in a landmine, won't ever, disintegrate, and no one used it at
Mhm.
all. I mean,
Yeah.
Quay Lon makes an astute point. A very smart point. He's like, "Listen, some of these people be watching this wedding on Zoom."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And
Because even Quay Lon's mom oh, go ahead.
I think Chevelle just needs to make a choice, and Chevelle won't make the choice, and that's the problem.
Oh, I think at this point she will.
Mhm.
It's obvious. She sits down from her mom and is like, "Look, you're the problem. Literally everyone else is figgity fine. You're the problem. Like everyone's chill, 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 and you're a nightmare."
Yeah.
And the mom is like not taking it. Is like, like blames her for not taking the family side, and yet is like, I'm getting married and you're against me right now. Like and that's what's like obviously very, very sad. But basically it like breaks up and then but then again, like the sister then comes back and then goes at the mom one more time and then you hear, I think it's oh, I forgot who it was. I forgot if it's someone at the very end just like, "Put your shoes back on." I
Which
the
is a
shot
great
of these
soundbite.
shoes, the shot of these white, cloggy, thick sandals coming off of a heel that's like with a little brazen blue kind of like
Yeah.
chiffon, like
Yeah.
pastel as if it's Easter. It's just so it's unfortunately a really
Street
good
people.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like the editor, like the person that got that, it's like, it's just unfortunate. It's a great
Yeah.
shot.
Whoever shoe it is, that is the street person. That is the street person. It is
I
like,
don't like I hate this.
what is that song that is like, ooh, what's that song? What's that song, Chris? It's the 80s, it's the 90s song. It was like
Give me
she's
one.
it's the s- the
Give me
homeless
one moment.
lady. No, it's
What?
I keep wanting to sing
Oh,
fast car, but it's not fast car. She's got a fast car. It's not
yeah.
fast car though. It's the other song
Give me
where
one
it's
reason to stay
no, it's not
here.
Tracy
Oh, that
Chapman
song.
at all. It's a song where it's it's not Tracy Chapman at all.
Okay,
It's a
well,
song
you're giving me nothing
it's a
except
song
homeless.
where it's like maybe it's Phil Collins. Maybe it's not Phil Collins. It's a song where it's like a person who has money ignoring a homeless person. Maybe it's like you see the person in the
Oh,
window,
I know. Oh, it is like
um,
Phil Col like Genesis or something like that, or like
like,
it's the same
oh
person.
my god, it's you're
Oh,
ignoring a person in the window. Um,
Genesis
no, it's not
songs.
Genesis, maybe. It's
I
like
think it
ignoring
is.
no, I don't think it is. Okay,
That's
hold on, let me
all. Da-na-na-na,
ignoring the person in the window.
na-na-na-na-na. Wait, no, did it isn't it this? Wait, is it this? We can't play it. I was like, is da-da-da-da, na-na-na-na-na-na, being in the hair. Just
No,
as I
it's not that
thought it was
either.
going all right. I found out
No,
I
no,
was
no, it's
wrong when
not
I
that.
thought I
It's
okay.
not that song. It's not
Okay.
a song.
Damn it.
Song. It's not that song.
Okay, well, I mean, you're gonna have to figure this out by yourself, honey.
I know, but it's a good joke.
Well, you didn't have it.
Oh, stop hating on me. We have a editor.
I just have that song in my head. I love it so much. That's
Shoot.
all. Turning me on, turning me on. Nothing to feel like I want too much. Living with you, just putting me through it all the time.
It's like raining and you see the person in the window and like it's like
Thunder rolls. That's what I'm thinking of. I know it's.
no. You don't have to do it's me. Somewhere we know only. No. Gosh, ignoring the person in the window. It's some stupid singer who's like, nah, 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 you should give money to the person in the window who's begging for money.
Is it Another Day in Paradise?
Oh, think
Yeah.
twice. It's
Yes.
just another day for
Yeah.
you and
That's
me
what I
in
think you're doing. It's Phil
paradise.
Collins. And it's Phil Collins, not in Genesis by himself.
Maybe it is.
Okay. I think I got it for you. Now what? Yeah. I don't know if he actually that happens as a video, but I don't know if they talk about it in the song.
She calls out to the manager, "Sir, can you help me?" Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She calls out to the man on the street, "Sir, can you help me?" I don't think it is, but that's a good song to go with it. Okay,
Yeah.
anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but
Oh.
God darn it. Da-na-na. I love Phil Collins. I don't know. That's my favorite. That's like, ugh.
Yes, I do like him, and I like that song, but that's all. And, his daughter, Lily Collins, and she's in the Emily in Paris. She's that girl that's like she's Emily of Emily in Paris. Isn't that
Is
so
she?
crazy? Yeah, she's a Nepo baby.
Oh,
Nepo baby. God, I wish I
Nepo.
was a
Yeah.
Nepo baby. Okay, so basically that's the end of them. Blobbity blue, blobbity blue. Do you have anything more to say about Chevelle and Quaylon?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Let's move on to Lindsay and Blaine.
Yep.
Now, okay, before we get into the nitty gritty, I think I don't know if this is fake or not. I do think I do think something is fake about this, but I also think that she needs to leave Blaine alone because she's not good for his sobriety. I worry
Wow.
about his sobriety.
I I agree with you because specifically it feels like she's using him.
Yes.
She
For
doesn't
her
really feel.
own I don't think she knows she's using him, but I think she is.
I do too. I think that
Mhm.
she's not really in love with him. She doesn't really respect him as a man for whatever reasons, even though we feel like from our vantage point, we're like, what we know is that you used to be a major drug dealer and he used to work for you. Maybe that's why you don't respect him. But then after you got out of prison, he supposedly got you a safe space. He got you a job, got you away from Deontay, who you don't want to be with, or whatever. Like he saved you in those kind of like tropey kind of like masculine ways. So why she turns around and then like, pretty much a yells at him and doesn't like him and doesn't think that he does enough, and then at the same time he feels like too scared to talk to her and literally talks to like every other person possible. But I agree with you. I don't think that she's in love with him. I think that she's just using him, whether she knows it or not. I think that it's just like addict behavior. I think she just wants a stable situation, so she feels stable, but she has to get it by herself without like using someone. It's not great to like just jump from person to person.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
So
yeah, go
the
ahead.
kids hear the argument where he like slaps the bacon grease out of the pan.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden she's going wedding dress shopping. And so Miley Grace is a little confused by this. And
Yeah.
Miley Grace tells Mima that
Hmm.
Blaine has been telling her every time they get into an argument about their issues.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
Mima's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I really don't believe this whole scenario that's going on. And so with this information, they are watching her trying on wedding dresses, and as she's excited, they're like, Miley Grace and Mima. And so finally, Lindsay's like, "What's up with y'all?" And they tell her, "Listen, we don't believe that this wedding is true or right because Blaine's unhappy and he's been telling us all of your tea. And so this is what's going on." So she gets upset and she's like, "Well, I knew he was upset. And yeah, we have been fighting, but we're getting married. So full speed ahead." And so she gets really upset. And also all of these dresses are ugly.
That's the part. I wanna be like, I wonder if Miley and Mima would be more into this wedding because Lindsay is drop dead gorgeous. I think that Lindsay's really a beautiful girl,
Yeah,
and
she is.
I cannot stand her in any of these dresses. They're all so horrible, so cheap. I'm like, "Lindsay, you've even done pageants. Like, you can't have one of these bargain basement wedding dresses. Like, none of this makes sense. He's not great for you. You're not great for him. These women who love you, like, don't love this for you, and none of these dresses are even, like, telling you that this is the one. These dresses are screaming no, so that
Yeah,
you say no, and what she ends up doing, which is the no-iest no-no thing of no-dom,
of the no list of
don't
no
ever
dem.
don't do what she does.
Mhm.
No, 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 no,
Of
no.
No Town USA,
Honey, is
of the
she
kingdom
run
of no.
she after hearing
Mhm,
this is also where it gets a bit intense.
mhm,
She has a no response to this, which is also kind of
mhm.
weird. She is forced to watch a video of Blaine supposedly recorded in Miley's room after one of their fights where he comes in and just is like yelling at her and say or yelling how horrible Lindsay is and how controlling she is or whatever. And Lindsay, by the way, gets this video and like watches it in like a 2 second time period from hearing about it, which makes it fake. But then what Lindsay does is like, I'm fine, and then runs out like bridesmaid style into the streets, honey, in bare Britney Spears feetsies, honey, on the streetsies, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like street feetsies in a wedding dress. It's like it it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the
And then I thought,
clerks are like, "She can't run outside in that dress.
oh, it's a
Is
cheap
she
dress.
outside of that dress?" And I thought the same thing too. I said, "No, she not stealing that dress, y'all. She left her whole family inside there. She ain't got no shoes on, and she not stealing that ugly ass dress. Y'all just relax. She not taking that dress. Don't worry, y'all. It's
Well, listen,
ugly."
she can't run out with them on the streets with that dress and expect to come back and not pay for it full price. I mean,
Yeah,
like that's buying a dress, and it's an ugly
yeah.
dress.
It's ugly. So how much she gonna pay you? $75? Don't worry,
You know,
she good for it.
Lindsay's gonna yell at them. She's gonna be like, "I'm not buying it." Lindsay is, God bless, a little feisty. Like Lindsay's gonna, I want to know who Lindsay's actually been with before Princeton because both Deontay and Blaine have a certain energy about them that reads easygoing,
Pushover.
reads w- she rules the roost. So
Pussy.
I want to know, yeah. It's a little. They are a little. What's just Beta. Okay, so God
Beta.
bless. What? Said it. So, like the dishes that like if they were in a jar, they would fight each other. Which is
Mhm.
funny because betas are actually just not. That's why it's weird that they call those
Mhm.
African fighter fish betas
Mm.
because they're actually two alphas. Anyway, moving on.
Mhm.
In the trope that we're using, which is dated and gender specific. So, how
Mhm.
are we in this situation? But there are alpha females. I think the
Sexy.
beta fishes are males. But one time
Mhm.
I watched my favorite. Did you ever watch this? Is a tangential situation. Did you ever watch a show called La Femme Nikita?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Uh-huh. It was on
Okay, good.
USA? Channel
Yes, it
8?
was. Yes, you
Mhm.
said it to me, with the, like, gall of a young Aaron Quinn from from American Nightmare, the way you said yes, as if it wasn't true, or you had, like, no other didn't know if you didn't know how to
First,
read it.
I listen, you and I have, we've had arguments in the last couple of years, but our origins
So you like the
are the
same shitty t
are the same,
so we
okay?
like the same shitty
So,
TV, is that what you're
we've had
saying?
arguments in the last couple of years, but from the years 19 Shimmer to the years 2000 and Shimmer have been all the same television shows. Okay?
Because we are the same, you mean?
Mhm.
Okay, I love La Femme Nikita. So my favorite episode of La Femme Nikita is one time she has to, like, there's these
Did you
underground.
did you watch Hercules and,
Yes.
the
Oh,
woman one? Did you watch
yeah, Xena.
Yeah, did
Xena.
you watch Xena Wor yeah.
Xena was better.
Okay,
I
yes,
watched
it
every
was.
episode of Xena. Yes, it was.
Okay, great. So, did we
They were a
watch every
lesbian
single
couple,
sh
then she came back. Remember the
Yes,
young
did we
blonde one?
watch
Yes.
yes, did we watch every show in the '90s? Did we
Yeah.
watch
We
the
don't talk
same
no
Yeah.
one ever talks about La Femme Nikita. Like, what a great podcast. Okay, but yes,
Okay, great.
I will send
Should
this and
we
we'll go
talk
back to this
about
what we're
Lupin the
talking about.
Kingdom?
I
Should
would.
we
So
watch
I
it?
because when we watch it, I don't even know where you can find it. Paramount, Peacock. I
I'll
don't know.
find it
But
right now.
okay. So basically, this one episode, and don't worry, we'll go back to what we're talking about. Love and Nikita, it was like they were both like, she had to go into an underground female fighting ring, like cockfighting or what the fuck, like any of those kind of like underground, like beating people up. But their kind of brand of beating people up would be two hot females dressed as African fighter fish that be like fighting each other in water to the death, just like African fighter fish slash beta fish is how I got to this stupid tangential conversation. The kind of fish that I've gotten before in my life because it's the only kind of pet that I can keep alive. And each time I have that kind of fish, I just keep calling it Pisces because that's kind of astrological sign I am, and I'm a narcissist. So I'm not the kind of kid that will like, if I have a kid, I'll name it Chris Farah. Like how Lucy and Desi had kids and named them Lucy and Desi. Anyway.
If I had a kid, I would name them Wahama.
Yeah, that's a sign of a narcissist.
I don't. Okay.
So basically, that Lindsay's on the streets in the streets. And then if we can move on to Brittany and Key Rock. Brittany decides to wear like, a condom as an outfit. Like she puts herself in this like it looked like a big Band-Aid, like a Band-Aid, like a flesh tone Band-Aid, and then but her hair looked really cute. She had her fake eyelashes and
Didn't she
they're
look like
like,
her grandma? Them jeans are
absolutely.
strong. Yeah, them
I know, I
jeans
love.
are strong.
Yep, that's true.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you, Key Rock
Tell
did
me.
not know what to do. Key
Oh,
Rock, oh yeah,
what do you
I didn't
mean?
think Key Rock knew what to do at all around them family members. And I was actually pretty shocked that her uncle didn't speak English.
Oh, I guess I thought Key Rock was doing a good job being like, how many grandkids do you have? And she's answering, and like Key Rock like trying to talk to her, like Key wasn't just
I
like
guess
sitting awkwardly.
I'm biased because I don't like Key Rock.
I
But
know you don't.
we can watch La Femme Nikita on Amazon
Prime.
Prime.
Okay. Okay, so basically, yeah, Brittany and Key Rock on the way to grandma again. She hasn't seen her real family in like 6 years, but her grandmother was like always been there for her, so she's very excited. And when she sees her grandmother, it's the cutest reunion scene where she's just like in the doorway, hugging her, and she's just so happy, and she's just like, she's so beautiful, and she is like, Brittany's grandmother is gorgeous. Es
Yeah.
muy linda, muy bonita.
Mhm.
And again, looks like Brittany, and then when her son comes in, you're like, oh Jesus, like, yeah. I see what happened there. So we also get an interesting story because, as we know, Brittany's parents have not been not only not supportive of her relationship with Key Rock, but not supportive really of her in the sense of like wanting to spend time with her. Now we don't know. She's mentioned that they have been financially helpful to her. So like whether she said that like while she was in prison, they never let her like be without or whatever. And so we don't know even in this point like what's been happening, but it definitely feels like she has not seen them, and just not letting your child feel your your presence is a certain shitty thing about that. So
Yeah.
when Key Rock makes it seem like it's about him, which I'm not saying it isn't, there is the natural knowledge they're not even seeing her though. And like it's been 6 years. But the grandmother, and we know that they might be like heaped in a certain amount of like Catholic guilt or whatnot. Their grandmother says this: when you first went away, I went to go visit your mom, and I was like, I want to say I must have met Brittany, because they had a special relationship. Brittany had moved in with her grandmother had prior, and they talk about like how Brittany was like really on top of things then, was feeling really great, was just like accomplishing a lot, and they got to spend time together. That Brittany's parents made her come back. She didn't want to. It was very sad as they left, a lot of crying on both sides. They felt they were ripping each other from each other. It was really, really sad. So then when Brittany's grandmother goes to visit Brittany and Brittany's parents, and Brittany's parents like, yeah, Brittany's not here. She went to college. And then Brittany's grandma was like, cool, college, cool. Can I
Yeah.
call her? Like, what's her fucking phone number? They're like, oh yeah, I know that she doesn't even have one. It's really weird. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, she can't stop. She won't pay for it. So we don't have one for her.
Yep.
And then 6 years go by, and the grandma's still asking. And then finally, like the 6th year, they're like, we lied. She's been in prison
Yeah.
this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
is.
sad.
Yeah, it's very sad, unfortunate situation. And I mean, but this reunion is joyful. And at some point, Brittany goes out with her uncle, and Abuela and Key Rock stay together. And it's an awkward moment. And Key Rock is doing his best to have this moment with the grandmother. And yeah, I mean, it's awkward for me because I don't particularly enjoy key rock. So so the whole time I'm just like, key rock could learn some more Spanish. It's not that hard. But I say that as a person who is immersed in Spanish culture. I say that as a person who is from California and eats tacos all the time and has done their best to learn how to be able to order in Spanish and, all those things. And so, yeah, I often judge people who are like, I don't know how to say "oh, wah, wah, wah" in Spanish. And I'm like, it's "awa, wah, wah." So figure it out.
Yeah.
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 So,
The uncle's really cute though. I think the uncle's handsome, and he basically also tells Brittany, like, I'm here for you too. Like, whatever it is, if your parents are dumb, we're not dumb. Like, you always have
yeah.
family, we supportive of you. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Let it go. Let it go.
But
Okay.
then oh wait, so then Brittany, this is the best cutest part. Then Brittany and her grandmother take a cute selfie together, and then grandma's like,
I'm going to send it.
send it. Send it
Yes.
to your dumbass mom. My
Yeah.
daughter, send that fucking bitch that picture.
Yeah.
And just like they, boot up taking a picture. And I like that's some female warfare. I like that. I like what that
But
means.
also, I was also thinking in that moment too is maybe grandma has also changed her tune because sometimes what if grandma was super strict with mom? And so mom is only
Yeah.
behaving in the way that grandma taught her to be. And now grandma is like, listen, I'm at the place where I am no longer this strict ass person. And I want my grandchildren to be happy and I want to know them. And so I'm letting go of all those things that I raised my children to be. And so, you know,
Yes,
like,
but also yeah. Because it begs the question, is it the mother that's more like that, or was the mother chill and the father is just so very domineering and
yes.
very conservative? The mother just has to like, in a traditional Latin household, like,
Yeah.
acquiesce to him. We
And
don't
was
know
she
which one it
raised
is.
that way? And would she be surprised to see that her mother is accepting of Britney because she was raised in a different way? Who knows? Who
Yeah, I
knows? All
mean,
right,
we'll find out maybe, or not
we'll
find
find
out,
out. Yeah.
or not.
Red and Joy.
Oh shit.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So Red is back in Missouri and he is just living his best life. And Joy is in New Mexico crying every day.
Mm-hmm.
And Suede is asking where
Where's
daddy
daddy?
is. Yeah, Suede is asking where daddy is. And it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah. We open it's like, we kinda go back and forth in, like, a summer night situation where Red is with his friends, at first
Tell me
sticks his
more,
friends,
tell me more.
and his cousins, all of them, they're, like, hanging out, like, he goes on, like, a tour of, like, all his friends and all of, like, probably the worst places to eat, in the sense of, like, the greasiest, worst for you food kinda places, but there's, like,
Mhm.
games to be played in such places and cheap booze to be played in such places. But just like every time he eats out with there's like a couple of eating out ventures. It's like every food exists on parchment paper, like served on like either like in a basket or like on a tin. So anyway, that is I don't know, God bless.
That it really stood
Um
out to you.
Yeah, it's just yes. Okay, so unfortunately, yes. So now this is what also stood out to me. So basically, obviously, all those people are like, "Welcome back. Guess where you're never going back to Joy's," and they're like, "No, you don't understand. If you think your life's miserable now, your life's gonna only be miserable." He's like, "Really? Yeah, I didn't think about it that way," which is like the dumbest thing. Like, I didn't think about the fact that if my life is kind of miserable right now, that it's gonna continue to be miserable for the rest of it. Whoa, now that you put it in those terms, you're just like, all right, fucking Red, like, please, please. But God bless. So the next scene, do you have anything to, okay, the next scene is my favorite with Joy, when Joy finds out what's missing. I can't.
I
I
can't
cannot.
even yeah. I can't even believe that he did that. I'm actually really, really like shocked that he took the
He
PS5 with him
now
after
I
he
didn't
said that that was the
right.
thing that he would come back for. So
I
the
want to
fact
ask you
that he
this. Yeah, say it. I
The
have to
fact
ask
that
you
he
2
took
questions.
the PS5 after stating, "Of course I'm coming back, I'm leaving my PS5 here," and then he chose to take it with him?
Okay, here are my 2 questions. Did he go in knowing that he was always gonna take the PS5, always going to take it, but knew that him leaving it would be a great sign, so he tells her he is, and then secretly take it? Or in the heat of the motion, was he like, "I'm gonna leave it, of course." He says it to her, "Don't even worry, of course I'm fucking coming back. I wouldn't leave my PlayStation 5, my favorite thing. Why would I?" Yeah, and then took it because he said it and realized how much he loves it, you know?
I don't fucking know, Chris. I
Bl
mean, I don't know. I
It's
don't
gone.
know.
Wha and also, it's like, where was it usually? How long has it been? Has she not noticed that it's been gone? You know, like, it seems to be that it lives in one of the cubby holes of her TV console, like how there's, like, different holes of a console. It seems like it usually resides in one of the holes and that it's it seems like it's 2 or 3 days later that she's like, "Oh my god, the PS5 is gone."
But I'm gonna tell you right now,
You tell me.
is I cannot date a man who is into video games.
There's so many of them. There's
I
so many
know.
there's a whole
And I
generation.
know
There's
that I know that it is quite
popular.
it is quite a statement to say. I said it at work and many of the men at work were like, and I was like, they're like, "That's really hard pressed." And I was like, "Also men who are super into sports." Like, I know you even made a face.
Well, that's kinda being like, okay, that's like kinda being to me, that's kind
But
those I
there
don't
are
wanna be
men.
with a woman that wears any makeup. I just don't wanna be with a woman. Okay, well, you're gonna be
No,
with a
that's
woman
not
that no.
true. That's not true, Chris. I
Okay.
have dated plenty of men who don't play
Mhm.
video games and who are not into sports. There are men who are out there who are like that.
I understand, but you are cutting out so many for such ridiculous reasons that bring them joy.
Put that down. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But you're
You're right.
cutting out something that brings them joy.
I know that. But
Okay.
it brings me not joy. And I know but I've dated them. The last person I dated wasn't into either of them, and that brought me joy. He was into cars and he was into finances, and I was into him.
Well,
Like, I can date a guy who's into sports, but, like, I can't have sports on my TV all the time. I can't have a guy who's into football on Sunday, Mondays, and Thursdays. I can't like, I can't you can be into it, but we need to have separate homes because I cannot have that on the television. I cannot have that on my TV. I need to have my own space so that you need to have your own space. In video
yeah.
games, you need to have your own space. I mean,
Oh,
not in the home. I mean, you need to have your own apartment, and I'm gonna have my own apartment, and then you tell me when you are done with that for the evening, so I can come over. And you're making a face, and I know that, but there are men out there who are not into both of those things,
and I want you to find them.
and I find them. I do.
Great.
But men get very upset when I say those things, and I don't understand why. Because there are women out there.
Oh, it's a
There are men
blanket
out there.
statement? Just so because they're such blanket statements, that's why it's like it's just a little and,
Oh, that's weird. But they're, yeah, I find them. But yeah, that's just one of those things that like like for me, I'm just like I can't stand the sound of tennis shoes squeaking on a
Mm,
basketball. I can't stand the
mhm,
sound of it. And like
mhm,
my family knows it. Like I want all the men to know out there that my
mhm,
brother and my dad are very much sportsmen.
mhm. Men.
And I walk into my familiar home
Mhm,
and there's football on
mhm.
Sundays, Mondays,
She
and
hates it,
Thursdays,
and she
and I
doesn't like
hate
it.
it. I go
Mhm.
upstairs to my bedroom and I don't come down until it's off. And I walk downstairs and I hear the screeching of basketball shoes on the court and I go, "Ugh!" And both my brother and my father go, "Ha, ha, 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 ha." They laugh at me. And I go upstairs and I go to my bedroom. And then they tell me when it's off. They go, "Why, ma? The game is off. You can come down." And I come downstairs.
Oh, okay, so the 2 people you love most in this world, the 2 men you love most in this world love sports, but you don't but you think you think that in your life. Okay. You can't have them. Okay. Yep. Blanket statement. But I love you so much. And at the same time, I pick certain sports and I like basketball and I hate, like football. But I mean, whatever. Like, but I
But
know I like weird shit that I just like. That's great. Like, you do that, so I can go do like all my facials, or do my podcast, or I'll watch my shit, or I'll play with my
mhm.
friends, or just. I can't wait to have people. I love when people do things I don't like, so I can be like, oh, great. Especially if they do something that I hate that other people love. That's even better because then I have like a little like inside kick to give me like the inside of like, oh, what the fuck's happening there? Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah, and
cool.
then I go and do what I wanna do. I'm not saying that I
Yeah.
wouldn't date them. I'm just saying that I
Oh.
won't participate in that. And so,
Oh, that
like,
mm,
I cannot participate in that situation. So I can date you, but don't
oh,
expect me to participate in that. And so, like, I won't be there for that. Go ahead.
okay.
Anywho,
Um,
so
here we are, but
the fact that he said that and then took that away, like, and fuck him. Fuck Red.
the audacity, no. I mean, well, it's so yeah, he's so upset, obviously, or he's so upset in the sense that he wants us to think that he doesn't know whether he's gonna come back, even though every person is like, "Don't you fucking come back." Meanwhile, she's like, "He left. He's I don't trust him. This is just like even more of our trust issues." Meanwhile, he's like, "I've been sitting on the secret of secrets that I fucked this woman right out of prison that I just keep calling bestie. I don't care what her name is." And meanwhile, this whole time we hate it because Sway is like looking up at the person and being like, "Where's daddy?" And we're like, Daddy's like Santa, babe.
He doesn't exist?
He does not exist. Am I wrong?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Some people don't have a parental figure in their lives, and in those situations, the idea of that kind of parent figure, who you think you're supposed to, what you think you get from that kind of parent, you're never gonna get. It's like Santa.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know it.
I did
So,
I did say I couldn't date that guy. You're right, I did say it. Yeah, you're right. I take that back. That's a blatant statement that I did say. I shouldn't say that. I'm saying I did say it. I can date him. I just won't partake in said adventures.
yeah, you will have your own time to do your own thing, which is, but
I just won't
you know,
participate.
yeah, or do it, or if you don't like sports that much, you can never see date a sports person again. But
Mhm,
do you?
mhm.
But yeah, I only said the biggest thing because you were like, why would they be so upset? And I just want to be like, oh, just maybe because it's they feel like it's maybe they like.
I
What if
guess
what if he liked? What if one of those guys liked you? You know what I'm saying? What if one
yeah.
of those guys liked sports and liked you, and then you're just like, I don't ever date a guy that likes sports, and so they're just like, why? And you're just like, and they're just like, oh,
You
okay.
know, I would date him, I just couldn't partake. I couldn't go to any events. I just and, like, I couldn't. But maybe I would. I said I couldn't. I say that in this moment, but I'm
Hmm.
trying to think, like, if a guy was like, "I could never watch RuPaul's Drag Race with you," I'd be
Yeah.
like, "That's fine. I could
Wouldn't
watch
you
it
be
by
kind of
myself."
happy?
Yeah. I'm like, "I don't
They
care."
feel the same. I feel like there's a lot of guys that feel the same way. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
well,"
I'm like,
I think
"That's
some
fine."
guys are like, I would love to go to like watch sports," but they also were just like, "Oh, great, you're gonna have your like dumb Sunday with your sports, dude. I'm gonna have my perfect girl Sunday, whatever that means." It could mean sleeping all day. It also could mean sometimes it literally does mean like in a dumb way, like I'll go on a hike, I'll go to a boozy
Yes.
brunch, I'll go to like like
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, I'd be
So
like, "You don't wanna watch RuPaul's Drag Race? It's fabulous, but if you don't want to, it's fine. You don't wanna watch So You Think You Can Dance? It's fabulous, but you don't have to." You know what I mean? Remember So You Think You Can Dance?
well, yes, because Paula Abdul sued Nigel, and Nigel's not the executive producer anymore because she said that he tried to like fuck her or something like that. You didn't know that? I'll send you no, we had to get through this, but then I'll send you that thing we'll talk about later. But anyway, so Red and Joy. So basically what ends up happening is that Red is like going back and forth and she's so pissed. And then surprise, surprise, he does go back.
Surprise, surprise.
He does go
Surprise,
back. I
surprise.
know. She's just like, she's so and he's like, hi, and she's like,
Surprise,
I'm upset.
surprise.
Do
God,
your upset joy.
Did you know that that woman who does the "Surprise, Surprise" song was in a secret feud, not so secret feud with Dionne Warwick?
I don't know the Surprise Surprise song.
You do.
Okay.
You know the meme. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. You know
Yeah,
the
it does.
meme?
It looks familiar.
You do. Imma send you one.
Okay. But wait, what did I just ask you? Oh,
I don't know.
I want you to do the Joy impression of him wanting to come home. He gets home wanting her to be so excited that he made it home, even though he took the PS5, and Joy's just like not excited to see him and wants to be like, well, I don't know if we're excited or it's gonna work out. Yeah, we're still working it out. I'm gonna see. He's like, okay. And he's like, that's when he has to tell her about Bestie, honey. And remember what happens when he tells her about Bestie? The
I
whoosies.
remember.
Whoosies. Did this not happen or this happened this? Is this happening the next
No,
scene or is this happening?
it does, but
Yeah.
I was sleepy weepies. So what
Oh, well, so
happens?
was I. He tells her that he fucked that girl, babe,
Yeah, I
and
know he does. She
Joy's like,
cries.
"No." Yeah, so can you do it for me? Go ahead. I'm just kidding. Dance for me.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. I can't hit the notes.
And then I gotta look it
Oh
up.
my gosh.
We have one more Coops Badoops left, and it's Sean and
Hoops.
Sarah. Boy, does this open horribly. Okay, let me tell you this right now. I know
I
okay.
know you're
I know
upset
I need
about it, but,
I'm
like,
upset
it
because I
really
feel like
isn't
I
that
need a
upset.
tummy tuck. I feel like I need a tummy tuck, and it's because I lost a bunch of weight. So I'm not saying everyone needs a tummy tuck in this world, and I don't want to give you a thing. It's because I lost a bunch of weight. So I feel like I need a tummy tuck. I've never had kids. So, and I think that also sometimes when you have kids, you need tummy tucks. But having said this, what we see in the very
She
beginning of
didn't
Sean and
she
Sarah
didn't need
is
a tummy tuck. I don't think she did. I think she just, like, wanted to feel better about her body because she was this big in her life. Now, okay, so we start off where she's in the bathroom and she's
yeah.
cleaning her tummy tuck that looks like it was botched. It looks like whoever did it did not know how to sew a straight line in their life, and it was
It
an
lo-
angry red scar. And so she's cleaning
s-
it out and
chaotic red, chaotic and red.
so Sean comes in and she's cleaning it out and he's like, "Come on, let's go." And she's like upset about it because he wants her to come and help him learn the business. And she doesn't want to learn the business because she's like, "I'm a housewife." And he's like, "No, you're going to help me learn this fucking business." And so she's cleaning it and she like puts on her like waist trainer or whatever. And so he takes her to this abandoned parking lot to show her how to tow trucks. And he's sunk their last bit of money and all of their credit card debt into buying this last truck so that she can start to tow trucks. And he says that he needs her help because they're behind and everything. And she's pissed. And then his phone starts to bling, 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 and she sees Kelly's name. And she's like, "What does she want?" And he's like, "Whoa, I have 6 kids with her." And she's like, "Well, you have 4 kids with her. 2 of them are adults now." And well, he's talking about the oldest. She's talking about the oldest one in Gracie.
Mhm,
And so, all Sarah's doing is counting down the kids until they get 18,
mhm,
which is
mhm.
not realistic. I mean,
No.
maybe in her world, 18 means that all of a sudden they're supposed to be adults. And I mean, I had a friend who, when we got to college, she was like, "Oh, I'm on my own now." And I was like, "You're on your own?" And she's like, "I'm 18. Like, I'm on my own now." And I was like, "No, but you're in college. Like, you're on your own when you don't go to college." And she's like, "No, I'm on my own now." And I was like, No, that's not the rules. The rules are you're on your own when you don't go to college." And she was like, "No, my mom said when we turned 18, we're on our own." And I was like, "Then why'd you go to college?" In my mind, like whatever. Okay. But that's not the rules in my family. The rules in my family is you're on your own when you don't go to college. When you go to college, you're on your own when you graduate college. And really you're on your own when you're 26 after you're no longer on your people's medical insurance. And for me, I was on my own. I don't know because I was on my parents' car insurance until I was just like, "Hey dad, I'll take it." like I wasn't really on my own until I was like, "Hey, it's okay. You don't have to pay my medical anymore. You don't have to pay. I'll take it." Like I had to tell them, "It's okay. I'll take this things." Like I was on my own when like my parents were retired. Like with and even then like I could go live with them now. So like I don't know what that feels like when your parents just tell you, "I'm no longer going to pay your shit anymore." Like my
Yeah,
parents were
it's a
going to pay my
privilege.
yeah, it's a privilege, right? So I didn't get that. But right. And so that's what Sarah is assuming. This is the world that they live in. 18, you're on your own. And so I'm like, Sarah, fucking bitch, in my mind, because
Mm,
privilege.
mhm.
And so
Well, I just think it's also
what
like, Sarah, if your whole thing is about not paying for kids, then just get with a guy that doesn't have, I don't know, 6 of them, you know? Like, if your whole thing is you want a man that has, like, more money, like, you know, because you're right. Like, the thing about it is you can't automatically assume that at 18 you're all done. It's not true because kids are gonna fucking come back at every time in their life being like, "Hey, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. I'm getting married. I know that." You know, like a kid's, you know, it's
yeah,
like that's just unfortunately he brought in people into this earth. And so for the rest of his life, he will be dealing with that, just like he has to now deal with the baby that he brought in with you, you know?
that
So
and the fact that Sarah's mother still helps her. So, like, why is it weird that Kelly is asking him when at this point she still has 4 underage children? And so, what it is that Sarah is unaware of is that Sean has not been actively giving Kelly any money for those kids for the last
that
couple of
part,
months. And
that
so,
part. Because
he
yeah.
he's not he's not doing what he's supposed to do. And so his wife doesn't know that. And so she's pissed now that she sees Kelly's name popping up on the phone. I guess mid-month. I guess she assumes that Kelly is only supposed to call him on the 1st or the 31st of every month. And anytime in between, she shouldn't be contacting him. But I'm like, that's not the way that works. They have children that are in elementary school together. And so the truth is that Kelly should be calling Sean as often as Sarah does because who the fuck knows? Maybe their kid is in the hospital. Maybe they have a kid that has asthma. Maybe they have a kid that, has a learning disability or, who the fuck knows? The fact
Mhm.
is that they have 4 fucking kids together. So Kelly can call that man at any time.
Yeah, specifically because there used to be a relationship between Sarah and Kelly where Kelly and Sarah would talk, but then some shit went down, Sarah said, where like Kelly was telling her that her phone was turned off and Sarah didn't want to deal with it anymore. And so now Sarah's not dealing with it and Kelly's going right to the source she always should, which is Sean. Now, again, Sarah in her mind has counted the money. She's like, look, they both have spent money. She's like, you spent money. And of course, Sarah's gotten like a whole like brand new body. And so every time he brings it up, like, well, we had that money. That was the money that we saved, but now we're in debt. And that makes no sense because if you didn't have the money, never had the money, if you thought you did by just saving only that amount, and now you're in 15 to $20 and 20,000 in credit card debt, that tells me, honey, that you never had the money to begin with. That money was supposed to be baby money because you were just to have a fucking baby. Like she wants to make it seem like Sean is the one going and spending a bunch of money on the credit cards and she wants to get him removed. But 15 to 20,000 just seems like a whole ass lot. And so again, he's supposed to give Kelly again $1,000 a month. And so the fact that he hasn't given Kelly $1,000 a month for at least a couple of months is bananas. Like if I was Kelly, I'd be like suing him, you know, like she could sue for child support. And in these situations, I'm like, please do, you know, especially for someone like Sarah. It's like, right, well then, you know what? Let the fucking courts decide. 3 kids underneath, let the fucking courts decide then. If you're gonna be so stingy and you really wanted to be so regimented, like fine. And look, because again, Sarah is like being so mean towards Kelly, like, it's all going to Kelly, it's all going to Kelly. When in this moment, she looks like a whole ass dumbass because Sean, who shouldn't be, as Sarah said, trusted with money anyway, is what? Lying about money, not to be trustworthy, and not giving Kelly money. So it's like they've all married and they've all fucked with the wrong ass person, which is some
Yep.
broke asshole named goddamn Sean.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Yippity yep yep yep. We all know Sean's a liar. Kelly knows Sean's a liar, but Sean is her best hope in life
I guess so.
because if we look at her mother, we know from whence she came, and we know that she has stepped up in life by being with Sean, which is not saying much at all.
It's not saying a lot. Now, we got a little jump shot between this idea of Sarah, who's again coming back from major tummy tuck surgery and breast surgery, and she's always looking like she's like in major back pain and so much hunched over. And then we get the first shot of her post what looks like a recovery period in a confessional where she has hard high titties, perky titties, and like looks like she also, kind of got back into her old
Drugs?
body frame or
But yeah,
whatever.
she looks swollen or something because she doesn't look as small as she once did.
No, in the
And
in the new titty shot, she looks small again to me.
oh, okay. I didn't notice the new titty shot. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I really like the jumpsuit you're in. Did I get that for you?
yes, you did.
Oh, I should get one
Thank
for
you so
myself.
much.
It's so cute.
It's a onesie, honey, that I love, honey. I always feel like I won in a onesie.
Yay.
However, we have come to the end of this episode, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, we are excited to press on with this never-ending, never-ending saga of
The
life after lockup.
never-ending saga.
Justine and Michael, we didn't really talk about. Did we make notes? Weren't they in this episode? Yeah, they were.
Uh,
How come we didn't talk about them?
it doesn't matter. What happened?
You know what happened? It's like they wanna give us the fact that they're not gonna move away now, and so his family's gonna move in, and then he has a horrible conversation with his daughter about, like, how he's like, just pretty much Michael is such a horrible father, it's just all about how he's a broke down, horrible man, horrible father, like, can't get his life straight, like, like, doesn't know how to do anything, and everyone just expects too much of him, and there's no way he's gonna be a good rapper, and this just is like, you have to get your life together and get it now.
Okay. Poor Michael. Anyways, so if you guys want to see the visuals of what you're listening to, you can join us on patreon.com/docusweeties. It's $10 a month. You get exclusive content, including a live every first Monday of the month. So please join us there if you want to support your girls. But if you can't do that, Chris will tell you some free options. Chris?
Yes, if you can't do that, if you can't just squat on the floor and deliver us a baby like Justine wants to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can also go and follow us on the social medias. We are at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, at DocuSweeties1 on X, and we have a Facebook group, the DocuSweeties Podcast Facebook group. If you haven't yet, consider giving us 5 stars and a helpful, friendly review wherever you listen to podcasts. We love you
Mm-hmm.
guys so much. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
We'll
Mhm.
talk to you